All right, let's see what's going on. All right, it looks like we are live. Sorry, we had a little bit of a technical issue with Zoom, to be quite honest. I don't quite know what was going on, but we are on now and working to get you a quick Facebook update. Today, I do have to drive into Chicago, so unfortunately, we had a Zoom issue, which put us 10 minutes behind, and I have to end a bit early so that I can get on the road and go into Chicago. So certainly that's what happens in my line of work. So certainly let me turn this on. And so the mug of the day is spring. So we are here with springtime, a little bit of showers, but the weather is nicer and certainly enjoying it. So got this mug just the other day. Again, spring, love spring. Can't get enough of spring. One of my favorite seasons. So a quick update. We're going to run through this really, really fast. But on March 29th, Vietnam Veterans Day certainly was a quite the ceremony earlier on. There's an article in the Sun Times about it, and there was a group of Vietnam War veterans recognized Friday at the VFW Armed Forces Post 8322. So if you want to know about the posts, like I'm part of Post Aurora 84, that was the 84th American Legion post in the nation. So on March 29th, 1973, the last U.S. combat troops left South Vietnam, bringing America's direct 8-year intervention in the Vietnam War to an end. On April 30th, 1975, the last Americans still in South Vietnam were evacuated as Saigon fell. So March 29th is a significant date to Vietnam veterans, and certainly it's been 50 years since the Vietnam War ended, and to this day, our Vietnam veterans still work very, very hard to come to terms with the war. Many folks lost friends in the war. Many individuals, saw a lot of things that a lot of death. But despite mental challenges, Vietnam veterans receive a lot of care. They went on to become advocates for veterans today, my generation of veterans and younger generation of veterans, with things such as the GI Bill, expanding expanding benefits for veterans, and then just recently the PACT Act that expanded benefits as well. So certainly that is, astounding. And our Vietnam veterans, jumped to action even though they were treated poorly when they came back. Certainly here we are looking at some cuts to the VA here in the Chicagoland area, certainly under this administration, but hopefully things will continue to have good services for our veterans. But just wanted to give recognition and just honor to the Vietnam veterans that I know that I've had the great opportunity of working with and just being with overall. Election Day is Tuesday, April 1st, regardless of where you're at, where you live in town. Local elections is April 1st, school board elections. Go to the Illinois State Board of Elections or your county clerk to find out where you can go vote. If you're not registered to vote, we do have day of registration and voting. Certainly you need to bring forms of ID, but look into that as well. Keeping with our talking about the military, Gold Star Spouses Day is Saturday, April 5th. So on Saturday, we need to honor the Gold Star spouses, reflect on those who've lost who lost individuals that were serving our country. The Gold Star Wives of America is a nonprofit organization that helps military spouses and their children. They work to improve benefits for military surviving spouses. And then Saturday is Deep Dish Pizza Day. Deep dish pizza is a Chicago classic, was invented in 1943 at Uno's Pizzeria. A survey done by National Today found that 51% of Americans prefer Chicago-style pizza compared to 49% of Americans who prefer New York-style pizza. And speaking of pizza, this past weekend marks the end of Ramadan, a month-long fast done by Muslims. The 84th district is home to 2 mosques, so now they can break their fast with food and family and maybe have a deep dish pizza. Uh, and then Monday, which is today, March 31st, National Crayola Crayon Day. I know all those folks out there have some jokes about crayons and Marines. Don't quite know where it came from, but Crayola Crayon Day is a fun, colorful reminder of the creativity of all of us. Coloring has so many therapeutic and just overall arts and crafts with over 400 Crayola colors out there. Now, my generation, I think I had a box of 24, but 24 Crayola colors. So take a moment and, just maybe do a little bit of coloring and maybe color outside the line. And feel free to use the red crayon, which is the most favorite crayon of the Marine Corps. um, Finally, where am I going? I got to go to Chicago today and cut this a little short, but because I got recognized and I'm honored to accept being named one of the 25 Illinois Women Veteran Leaders of 2025 by the Illinois Department of Veterans Affairs and the VA Women's Health Department. Certainly it means a lot to me to be recognized, but to me, I just believe that I'm doing my job and trying to be an important service to the community. So I am honored to be with some of the other individuals that are here today that are going to be honored with me. I'm just going to say their name really quickly. So the 2025 honorees. Tamela Anderson was in the Air Force. Ashton Bader was in the Navy. Rosemary Connolly was in the Air Force. Amanda Depew was in the Air Force. Dr. Renee Dickerson was in the Air Force. Laura Doss was in the Army. U.S. Senator Tammy Duckworth was in the U.S. Army. Eva Marie Duff was in the U.S. Army. Vanessa Henderson, U.S. Army. Jill Henry, U.S. Army. Melania Herman, U.S. Army. Allie Hernandez, U.S. Marine Corps sister, who I know quite well. Nicole Johnson, U.S. Army. Yvette Jones Swanson, U.S. Army. Lisa Mannion, U.S. Army. Denise Montoya, U.S. Air Force, a good friend of mine as well. Tyra Oliver, U.S. Army. Treasure Owens, Army. Elizabeth Penix, Army. Elizabeth Soto, Army. Cassandra Taylor, Army. Ashley Turbin, Navy. Angela Walker, Navy. And Kimberly Yantis, Navy. So congratulations to all those individuals, and just really honored to share the stage with them. The event is going to be today at Malcolm X College. So I'm going to head out there quite quickly. Looking at funding, I was interviewed by CBS News to talk about RTA funding and services, what it means. I think public transit is really important. It plays a vital role in a lot of people's lives, especially veterans, to get to and from places. And I do believe that, we need to make sure that we have a safe and functioning transportation system for everybody. So certainly talked about that a little bit on CBS News. And then some legislation. So I have this legislation and we worked on it. It's a small piece of legislation. The speaker just implemented, just found out last week that he is restricting the amount of bills that we can call on the House floor to 5. So while I filed this bill and would like to pass this bill, most likely I will have to pass it on to another member of the Illinois House to pass because of the 5 bill limit. I know it doesn't quite make sense to me, but he announced it last week. So this bill will most likely, it starts with me, most likely get passed on to another individual, but it's House Bill 2547. As I said, some of the bills we pass are technical in nature. This is really a technical bill. It removes an apostrophe from Veterans Affairs. He used to be possessive, Veterans apostrophe affairs, but to better reflect the intent and to be more correct, we are removing the apostrophe so it is veterans plural affairs. It's following the example from the U.S. Department of Veterans Affairs, which intentionally omits the apostrophe to emphasize that the department serves all veterans, not that veterans belong to the department. English manners, those of you that are English majors and remember that from high school, it's important putting the focus where it belongs. So while I filed that bill, I might not be the one to present that bill in the House floor due to the new restrictions by Speaker Welch. Another bill that we're working at, which is House Bill 2484, it helps with chiefs of police. There is just in the downstate police pension fund a restriction that says that police officers cannot work in another department, even if they pay into the pension. So looking at that, it's really a technical cleanup. It's really nowhere else but suburban chiefs. So if an individual worked for the state, they can be a chief in the IMRF system. If an individual retired from the military, they could be in the IMRF system as a chief. It is only the downstate police pension system that has this restriction, and removing it adds, make sure that, everybody has an equal opportunity. Certainly it's a technical change. And then looking at some clear technical changes for the Chicago Police pension system. So disability benefits. So there has been some feedback with regards to individuals who cannot go back to work as a police officer. They should be able to claim disability with regards to that, either through physical, mental, or a combination of both. If they are deemed unable to do their role, their profession as a police officer, it needs to be looked at with regards to the lens of disability benefits in the pension. Technical change, and certainly trying to clarify the process to allow for, in this case, Chicago police to be able to look at their pension system and the just the effects and the hard work and the and really what our police officers go through every single day. So looking to make sure that they have a clean, fair, and consistent standard with regards to their pension systems. Statewide, what's going on? Looking with regards to housing, affordable housing is always important, veterans in particular. So, looking at bills to help provide housing, it's a very important thing. So there's a slew of bills with regards to affordable housing. And then certainly we are looking at a case that is a mishandled case in Taylorville, where a sexual assault victim and her assailant remained in the same school. This is a Senate bill that they are looking at to improve protections in survivors of school settings. This is, of course, when two students. The bill would require emergency orders of protection are properly enforced, and the victims are not re-traumatized by being forced to attend the same school alongside their assailants. So still working on it in the Senate. So that has not come over to the House yet. And then looking in the House to ensure that substitute and semi-permanent educators receive the same lockdown and emergency preparedness training as full-time teachers. There was some concerns with regards to this with substitute teachers like I was that go into the schools And then a big issue is to protect the Mammoth aquifer and other water sources. And water is so important. As you know, here we are connecting in Oswego, Joliet, our areas are connecting to the Lake Michigan water. And so it's really important our groundwater is drying up, and looking at carbon sequestration, which is underground, how it could affect aquifers. So prohibiting that activity around the Monmouth Aquifer, which provides drinking water for nearly 1 million Illinois residents. Then we had a bill that House Bill 3011 would require elected community college board members to take an oath to uphold the U.S. and the Illinois Constitution, bringing them in line with other elected officials throughout the state. So that's another kind of technical change as well. And then one of the things that we talk about with the treasurer's office is things that are left in safety deposit boxes and the individuals stop paying it. They get relinquished to the treasurer's office. So look at the iCash, illinoistreasurer.gov/iCash. One of the things they get is items that are interesting. So rare coins, a piece of Joe DiMaggio's bat, are part of Illinois Treasurer Fair's iCash auction. When we can't, after a certain period of time, if we can't find the owners, they get auctioned out. So the online auction featuring unclaimed property items are running from March 28th, a couple days ago, to April 6th. A rare 1881 US $10 gold coin, an 18-karat gold yellow chain link bracelet, and a baseball card embedded with a piece of Joe DiMaggio's bat are part of those. The auction also features vintage pocket watches, foreign currency notes, 25 1-ounce, fine silver rounds, along with some other unique treasures. They're open to everybody, not just collectors. It's a great opportunity to find a unique gift or get something you think is cool. A total of 100 lots are available. Participants must register on the high bid website to place bids. You can go to the illinoistreasurer.gov website to view the catalog and learn how to register. So, again, trying to give unclaimed property back to individuals. So check out iCash. If you do, I'd check it out quite often as well, and look to make sure that that there's nothing on there that you might have or a loved one might have that you completely forgot about was in a safety deposit box or something to that effect. Other than that, we're looking a little bit on Illinois economy. The Illinois economy is lagging a little bit, and there's some reason to think that the picture is not quite as bad as it's being depicted. Now, it's not super rosy, but I think that right now we're still seeing some issues with regards to the RTA and the metro that we need to look at. We have some jobs that have not recovered, believe it or not, from COVID. And we're looking at other issues with regards to economic performance. So certainly we're lagging post-COVID, but working hard to establish the economy. Now, also, the governor is right now on a trade mission with a large delegation to Mexico to fortify up our relationship with them. We do a lot of international trading with Mexico and with Canada. It's not just items coming from Mexico up to Illinois. It's Illinois going to Mexico in search of a lot of products that we export. So the governor this week is on a trade mission to Mexico. As you know, the House, well, you might not know, but the House, Speaker Welch canceled Thursday and Friday of last week. So we are only in for 2 days, Tuesday and Wednesday. So we don't have much to report with regards to that. But of course, there's baseball. Baseball season has started. season openers. A lot of people are happy about that. And really off to a good start, I think. So where are we at right now? So, White Sox have been doing good. Cubs have been doing good. Let's see how long it's going to stay. Uh, Not quite sure, but certainly something to keep an eye out for. And then finally, um, we're looking at data centers. Talked about data centers before, and this is something that is really really important. As I've mentioned in the past, there's legislation with regards to small modular reactors, which is for obviously power. But we also are looking at power overall. So I'm here on this computer talking to you, but it takes energy. And what we are seeing is the amount of data centers has really grown. So Chicago has been one of the premier places for data centers. We do have some incentives for data centers. Um, so, by Elk Grove Village near the O'Hare Industrial Corridor. And so they are going throughout. One of the things, though, that we need to look at is energy and how we supply energy to the data centers. And artificial intelligence is posed to drive up 900% in power demand from data centers in the Chicago area. So what we're looking at right now is power. And that's why we're looking at small nuclear reactors. We're looking at all sorts of additional power that can be generated so that they can handle the peak time for you and I in our houses, but also have what's called extra energy for the data centers. So, we have a strong electric grid. We've been increasing our electrical reliability, and so we're certainly looking at power and how we can be more efficient with power. So, just another thing that goes on my desk. So that's exactly what we're looking at. And then finally, if you are traveling to Springfield, please note that the Wyndham Hotel has closed down due to a pipe that it looks like it was part of the sprinkler system, and it has it burst and flooded the elevator shaft. So it's very interesting. And certainly if you're going to Springfield anytime soon, we are not in Springfield this week. We go back next week. It's deadline week. So we have to pass all the bills out of the House onto the Senate by next week on Friday. So just a quick good morning, Audie, and everybody who is coming in. Certainly, thanks for joining us. Got to wrap up a little bit early because I have to hit the road and head up to Chicago for the 25 Women Veteran Leaders that is being recognized by IDVA. So with that, we certainly we'll give you more updates next Monday. And then it will be officially April. And tomorrow is April Fool's Day. So whether you participate or not, be responsible with your April Fool's jokes. If you do, certainly celebrate responsibly overall. So with that, have a great day. Have a great week ahead, and take care and be well.